Is this movie as bad as they say it is? Halloween 3 is a film that a lot of people consider to be a pretty bad Halloween film. If you didn't know, this film does not have anything to do with Michael Myers. The whole plan for it was to be an anthology series, every new Halloween film being about something else, some different story, all centered around Halloween the holiday. This was the first foray, the first attempt to try to make this anthology plan happen. We went completely away from Halloween. This one has to do with an Irish witch guy. Interesting approach. And I saw it way back in the day, like as a little kid, like in passing around the Halloween season. But today I thought to myself, let me watch it again. Let me see if it's still bad, if it's really as bad as people say it is. The answer is, well, yes and no. The big fault of this film is obviously it not being Michael Myers. It's kind of absurd now, I know, to think about the Halloween franchise without Michael Myers, but back in the day, it's a little more understandable. Okay, we did our 2 films, you know, let's move on with our life. Let's do something else. And, you know, nope, the world just wanted Michael Myers. They just keep wanting him over and over again. And that's eventually what we got. But I understand fans' confusion also if you're going to have a franchise like this that wasn't necessarily marketed as an anthology story going into the 3rd film, going into even the 1st film. I think that would have been important rather than get people hooked on Michael Myers and then just rip him away like a little baby, ripping away the pacifier, which is ultimately what happened. People became such big fans of Michael Myers, and like, duh, he's one of the best horror villains of all time, one of the just best villains of all time. And then we were like, no, here's an Irish guy. I know you like your mythological shape who's super intimidating and super unique and super ominous, but have you considered Irish guy? In that regard, I understand why people weren't that happy with it, why they were disappointed in it, but looking back, knowing what we know now, kind of looking at the film as its own thing and not, you know, and taking away the hype of the first 2 Halloween films, you know, knowing that Michael Myers would eventually come back, I don't think it's that bad of a movie. It is a little slow in the first half, but it does pick up a lot towards the end, and there are some really genuinely cool moments in this film that I enjoyed a ton. I think the whole idea of the Shamrock mask, kind of these like cursed masks all killing these kids all at once, first of all, super dark, dude, super dark, which makes the film stand out for being like, hey, the premise of our movie is like, let's just kill all the kids. Everything with the masks themselves is really cool, and that's kind of like a fault, I'd say, of the movie, is like the main kind of driving force of the tension in this film, the masks, only really has one impactful scene, really one demonstration. We only see them kill one person, which is like a bit of a bummer. It's like, you know, if Michael Myers only killed just one person, everyone else was just, you know, a random cop got shot, you know, Granny fell down the stairs. The music is good for sure. It gives very much the same ominous 80s synth vibes that the first film did. Really like that. There are some good pieces here. Of course, I'm gonna say the score from the first films is better. In fact, there's one scene in this movie where the original theme starts playing and I was like, holy shit, this is so sick. I want to watch Halloween now. Always kind of a bummer when like your callback to the other movie just makes me go, man, that was good. That movie was really good. I want to watch that. Wish I was watching that instead. I also like the ending of the film. It's kind of a vague, open-ended kind of situation, but there's a very real world. The villains win here, and like a lot of kids just brutally die in a pretty gross way. Here's my other thing. It doesn't set the Halloween ambiance that well, like especially compared to the first film, because most of it kind of just takes place in like a factory. Like that's kind of boring. It's just like gray factory. Where are the pumpkins? Where's all this and stuff like that? Where's all the, you know, the Halloween spirit? Kind of lacking in the Halloween spirit. We kind of just hear about the mask and like, oh, kids are gonna wear the mask. Kids are gonna die because of the mask. That's kind of about as far as it gets. At the end of the day, dude, it's fine. I know it kind of has gotten this cult following going, you know, in the last, you know, who knows how many years, but people are kind of coming around on it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's necessarily a film I'd add to like my Halloween must-watch list, but you know, maybe like once a decade, you know, twice a decade kind of movie, you know, where I'm like, you know, I haven't watched that in a few years, so I'll watch that again. Kind of just, you know, a fun little, you know, little vibe, feel fun few ideas. If you haven't seen it, it's probably worth at least one watch. Maybe not. There are better films to watch, especially in Halloween time. Which, if you're wondering yourself, hey, what are these better films that there are to watch during Halloween time? Well, I got a video coming out on that. 5 more Halloween movies I'd recommend for this season. Tons of Halloween content coming out this month. I'm excited. You should be too. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.